This video is intended to jumpstart the new user with the ST300. As soon as you boot the software up, this is the screen that you should be seeing. Everything is blank, there are no test values in, there's nothing in the test list pane, there's nothing in the data log pane. So the first thing that I recommend is I like to check to make sure that we have the computer and the ST300 talking to each other. So click on Actions, click on Calibrate, Single-Ended, and Verify. You'll notice that you have a trace starting at 50 ohms and running out across the screen. This trace basically is the probe. Let's cancel that out. Let's repeat it for differential. This time I'll click on differential, I'll click on verify, and lo and behold, we have a 100 ohm trace. Again, that's the 100 ohm differential probe. Now that we know that the system is working properly, let's set up some tests. Very easily done. Click on Actions, click on Insert Trace Definition. The system has defaulted to a 50 ohm test, which is one of the most common. I know, looking at the coupons, that this trace window is a little wide, so I'm going to shorten that up to 5 inches, and I'm going to save it. So what I have done now is I've created a 50 ohm test, you can see here, and I'm going to make sure we've got a valid test setup. I'm now probing a 50 ohm coupon. I put the cursor in the window here, left click, and I have a test. One thing that I immediately notice is that this pass-fail window is way too far to the right. So if I left click, I can drag this over to about where I want it. It's also a little wide, so if I grab the edge of it, I can widen it or narrow it. Let's narrow it down to here. I'd like to save that, so with this cursor in the crosshatch area, if I right click, I could say modify current definition, and it will now stay there. So what I've done is I've created a 50 ohm test, and at this point I also, well, I'll come back and we'll data log on the second pass through. So let's create a couple more tests. Easiest way is with this highlighted, right click and hit copy, and then paste and paste again. Now we've got 3 identical tests. The advantage of that is that some things are always going to remain the same. In other words, you're probably going to want to have this test window in the same place, and the length is always going to be the same. So the only thing we have to change is the ohmic value. So if I click on this one and right click and go to edit, let's make this a 33 ohm test. So I'm going to change this from 50 to 33, and I'm going to change the target impedance to 33, and this is already saved because it's a copy. I don't have to change anything. The starting position is copied from the first, so I don't have to save anything. And let's hit save. Now I have a 33 ohm test. Let's repeat it for this trace. Right click, edit. Let's make this a 100 ohm test. So insert 100 ohm, 100 ohm target, and save. Okay, now we've created a little test program. Let's go back and do some testing. Okay, let's left click, and we have a good test. Now, one thing here, let me go back on Actions here, and Preferences, and on Auto Advance. That should have advanced me. Hang on, just a minute, let me try it one more time. Okay, let's just, don't worry about that for now. Oh, didn't advance because I didn't do anything with it. If I need to save it, if I save it, then it automatically advances me, because otherwise it sits, it wonders whether you want to test it again. So the idea is you're going to data log. As soon as I have data logged, it does advance me on a pass. So the next trace is 33 ohms. That's left click. There's a test. Let's right click, and we've saved that reading and advance to 100 ohms. Let's left click. That's 100 ohm. Right click. Okay. So and we're back to test again. So you can see that this is serial number 1. Now let's assume that we have another identical coupon. Let's go back and test. And we've tested. And saved. And you'll notice that it says current. Now we're on a 33 ohm test. So let's test again. Save. Let's go to 100 ohm test. Click. Save. Now we've got serial number 2. It was just that easy. So now we've tested two coupons and we've data logged. I can then save this file by going up and save as whatever it is I want to call it. So I could just call it intro test, and it's going to be saved as a .tds file, and I happen to have it set up so that it defaults to go into a folder I call buffer. It could be what you put it wherever you want, and we'll do a save on it. Now I could open that up at any time by the intro test.tds, and basically I'll see exactly what we've got here. Now the nice part about this is if I go out here, I can basically see what the test was. If I click on any one of these results, they're all stored. All the information is stored. So this is what you have archived. This is information that you can retrieve. This is information that you can send to your customer. He can open this information up on his computer and see the same thing that you're seeing in these screens. So that about wraps this short video. Thanks for watching.